Welcome here back with Week 11 recap for Division 6C and 6D. With me is, as always,
Hello, I'm Svaho.
and I myself am Hindus. So, let's get this party started.
So how do you want to do this? Start off with the Gobble Boners and Professor Paresthesius pets.
Yeah, because the Kiji managed to pick up a win against the Gobble Bonus.
So they both won their first round of the Swiss, right? And Keji dominated, I guess, versus Goblins. So let's look at Keji Ruse and what he has been up to. Um, well, he's got a jump up on a wolf. He's got a ghoul. Uh, and when you get a ghoul, typically that means uh, you've finally got an actual carrier on your team. Uh, what do you think about the tackle instead of like dodge or something?
On Mangussen,
Yeah,
well, for one thing, he's looking a bit like Mangus. I don't know if you've heard of him. I believe he also was a werewolf. And well, I mean,
yeah,
having tackle, I think tackle is fine. And I think the tackle is more important than the dodge at, for one, for the coming playoffs if he makes it, and on the other hand, for the next season because opponents will have tackle at this point at this TV, and if they want to target the wolf, they probably have the tools to do so, even if he has blotch. While the tackle for Manguson himself just helps him target down the important pieces on the opponent's team.
yeah. So the interesting part here is that well, Kejerus is facing uh McNaughton next, and McNaughton is playing Chaos Dwarves. And, well, the tackle won't be as useful versus Chaos Dwarves, but the jump up that he got on Equinox is actually going to be probably a great choice against the Chaos Dwarves, seeing as that he can pile on and then jump up and hit again. Um,
Yeah, but from what I've seen from the GMan channel in the Discord, it looks like McNaughton has found a new target in Aquinas. So I think he will keep Aquinas a bit in the back and
yeah.
not overextend him because McNaughton will be very happy to take a foul.
Yep. And speaking about fouls, Sorhuk, the zombie, is 1 SPP away, as well as Throg, a fast bash. He's also 1 SPP away from getting a level up, and then we might actually see the first dirty player of the team.
Well, I don't think Sorfuk will be the one who gets dirty player. I think it will be one of the fresh zombies. But other than
Mm,
that,
Well, he's 1 SPP away from leveling up the new white. Uh, I say new because I see the number. I assume the old white died or something.
yeah, but I think Osiris 2 has been around for quite some time. He has 4 matches in his statistics, so
Oh, real? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I remember him. Yeah, well, he has one touchdown and a casualty, so that wasn't looking at MVP. So he's finally deciding to get some SPP on himself. And Sylvester, well, Sylvester has been also stuck for a long time. What is it? 14 matches and 4 SPP. Huh. That's really a lot, if you ask me. And that's really unlucky that in 14 games, not a single MVP landed on him.
Yeah, and I think one of the big problems Ketcherus will be having in the coming games is, or for the coming season, is that he's still lacking guard, and he will be outstrengthed in a lot of matchups in the coming season.
And that was the job of the flesh golems, who he can't actually level now, in my opinion, seeing as that he wants the ghoul, to level up.
Yeah, and more
And
importantly, he's still in the playoff race, so you don't want to risk anything by trying a handoff to a flash golem.
yeah, and he also should look to maybe greed a little bit and get the white touchdown yet again, for OCS. And well, the team is looking really good. Let's look at the matchup. He won 2-1 versus the Goblins. And statistically, he wasn't really in the lead. Uh, Gobbleboners actually have more ball possession than uh, the Professor's pets. So the deciding factor was actually the 33 blocks to 16 blocks that were made. And also, he has, out of those 16 blocks, so four casualties and two injuries were, and half of those four casualties were injuries. Damn. And compared to that, like 33 brings us to actually twice the amount, with actually scoring a kill.
Yeah, overall, it's fairly little blocks for a game, which is a bit surprising.
I guess the Global Boners ran away, and the Paracesius pets kept coming and coming.
Oh, and if you look at the casualties sustained, the Gobble bonus looks like they failed a lot of those dodges or GFIs or throws, because now there we have 10 removals.
Ooh, yeah. So three casualties inflicted and one kill inflicted, but uh, five KOs sustained. Okay, that matches up.
Yeah, but the 5
Uh,
casualties, so at least 2 dodges resulted, or throws, or whatever resulted in injuries, which is a
yeah.
bit unlucky.
And we actually see Professor Paresthesia's pets regen because they also sustained a death, but they managed to regenerate with their regeneration passive ability.
Yeah, regeneration worked 2 out of 3 times, which is better than expected.
SPP wise, I mean, like 8 SPP on a werewolf in one game, and then 4 SPP on another one is really good.
Yeah, it turns out if you punch goblins, sometimes SPP falls out of them.
Yeah. Uh, and well, would you say that the goblins had a hard time, seeing as that, well, the goblins did have uh 33 ones. They had a 100% pickup rate, so that was really good. But they only had 3 out of 7 K, 3 out of 10 KOs.
Well, it seems to me mostly that the goblins rolled a lot of dice. And
The
if you
goblins did, yeah,
and if you roll a lot of dice, you will fail something at some point. Meanwhile, if we're looking at the Necro, they have about half as many dice rolled.
yeah. And even in those half as many dice, he still has 15 ones, to 33, so about, well, a little bit less than half.
I mean, from the statistics, it looks pretty even, but it always is also important when the ones happen. For
Yeah.
example, 2 in a row often end in a turnover, while if they are spread out, you can deal way better with them.
So he had a chainsaw and a fireball. Huh. What's up with the that?
Wait, both teams did have a chainsaw?
Yeah, apparently.
Uh,
Wait, maybe it recognizes vice versa. No, it doesn't. Somehow both teams had a chainsaw and
I think that's probably just a mistake here.
probably, I don't know. Uh, we'll have to look into that. But as for now, yeah, the chainsaw is there, and it worked 3 out of 4 times, which is really good actually.
Well, let's look at the chainsaw's team, the gobble bonus.
Toast guy coming up, and again, nothing really has changed. Um, he has sprint. Is that new?
I believe the sprint is new.
Yep. And well, that's basically it. He has a block troll, and block troll on a goblin team is really good.
Well, what's a bit surprising to me is that there are still a lot of goblins all around and all of them are healthy. Usually the numbers thin out a bit during the season, but it looks like Toskai has been picking up goblins instead of losing them.
Yeah. And well, are these two Misnex games?
Probably, I assume, because you don't keep
Yeah.
any niggles around as goblins on just fresh goblins.
Yeah, both Misnex games, and yeah, his team still is really all over the place, if you ask me. The SPP is kind of central on that one goblin, but the team is all over the place when it comes to what somebody likes to do. And he has started to, in a way, bloat, if you ask me. And we can actually see that because, in comparison to everybody else, he's actually closer than most goblins would be at this point. Like he's 60 team value underneath Choffs, and he's 50 team value underneath Angels of Lilith.
Well, I still wouldn't call it bloaty really, because for one, some of those teams you just mentioned were having a really bad season themselves, and for the second, he has a lot of good actual skill ups with the Blizzard agility and the block.
Yeah, and well, that matchup is pretty much over with, if you ask me. So the Highland Avengers won their game versus United Scarab Emirates.
Yeah, and I believe from what I saw from the one screenshot Herring sort of posted, he had quite some fun. I believe McNaughton is also around, so if you want to fill us in, feel free to do so. Meanwhile, let's look at his team.
McNaughton has access to the voice channel that we are in currently, so if he wants, it's fine by me if he wants to join in.
Yeah, it was more
Uh,
meaning comment, but he's free to join as well. And it looks like he went for the piling on.
yeah, he went for the Polygon and he missed next game. Okay. The other bull has block and is really close to leveling up. And he has Claw Mighty Blow. So is that the second Claw Mighty Blow that we see in this division? Right after Kejuru's.
Yes, but on a Chaos Dwarf blocker, well, he also needs a double, so
Yeah,
the team is coming along. Too bad that it will be retiring after this season, Not really
Mm,
bad, but because it's dwarves and nobody likes to play dwarves, but you know.
yeah, not a lot of people like Choffs or playing against Choffs, but this team seems like it's going to grow up and it's going to be actually kind of good. Oh, my bribe did a lot of work letting me go 2 KO Tomb Guardians inside 4 turns. I then randomly killed another before halftime. My ball carrier got badly hurt turn 2, so tried to Apo but failed. Uh, out at the moment, so can't voice. Oh, it's okay, McNaughton. So it seems that he went in with the usual hobgoblin strategy of fouling. And yeah, his ball carrier went down, I guess, and was hurt for the remainder of the game.
And he also killed another Tomb Guardian. Because why not?
Yeah, I would call those kind of lucky removals, to be honest.
Well,
But seeing as that you have Claw Mighty Blow, I don't know.
I think it's also fair to say that once you actually get the injury on the Tomb Guardian, it often results in a very bad one because they do have, what is it called?
DK.
Yes.
They have decay and they also have regeneration, so that's the thing. But the thing that actually protects Tomb Guardians from getting cast is other Tomb Guardians as well as their armor 9.
Yeah,
Uh,
but if McNaughton just removes them,
yeah, and McNaughton has done a good. Bull Centaur is the ball carrier. Ah, okay.
oh, he
And
means he meant Bull Centaur instead of Ball Carrier.
okay. Yeah, sorry. So when it comes to like Tomb Guardians and taking them out, basically you take out the entire Camry team, and you did really well apparently with that. And I really like the look of the Chaos Dwarf blocker, as like the aesthetic look of the Chaos Dwarf blocker with claw.
Yeah,
It
the visuals are nice, but let's have a look at the statistics because the blocks are actually still pretty even. Just the removals went entirely one way.
So when it comes to armor breaks, 16 to 14, but Scarab Chimerates actually suffered 2 kills. And 3 injuries inflicted, 3 casualties sustained, okay. 7 KOs inflicted, but 9 KOs sustained. So there was something happening there as well.
Yeah, that those are probably the fouls.
Oh, the falls don't go into yeah, this is under blocks, so I guess they don't go into that. So it's 43 to 34. Quite even, but
Well, I
this,
believe for the removals it's quite even. As well, as McNaught mentioned, he got early Tomb Guardian removals, and usually if you lose your Tomb Guardians early on as Camry, the game won't go well for you. So I think uh, Herringsworth still got quite a decent amount of blocks in.
yeah, he certainly did. And okay, he inflicted 1 casualty, which was to the Bull Centaur, and he inflicted 1 KO. So ball possession wise, Highland Avengers actually had more ball possession than the Camry. Who would have thought? And yeah, basically he just steamrolled over the start that he got, and he went over Herringzord completely. And that was something that we did not predict. Remember, we actually said that when it comes to Highland Avengers versus United Scarab Chimerates, I believe we both were expecting the United Scarab Chimerates to win.
Yeah, but if we have a look at their dice log, uh, just if you glance over it, you'll see they failed a lot of things. The orange number is often just higher than the blue one, and if that's the case, you will have trouble in a game.
Yep. Well, armor is armor and the lightning bolt are the only things that are in positive, and well, GFI are the only things that are in positive percentages. You also had a wizard for the game.
Yeah, it's usually the case when someone he gets lightning bolted.
Yeah, I know,
But
but I
it
just
definitely helps in the matchup. Did you
yeah.
actually get that through inducements or did you scum the wizard?
Uh, while he types that out,
Yeah,
uh,
let's take a look at what's left of Herringsworth's team because he had a really bad game. Friday,
all,
what was it? I believe it.
all, all three are there. All four guardians are there. Uh, Raw and Bone Man and Taylor Swift are still there. Good. That's good to see for for the Camry coach. And well, the throw rods are looking okay. I mean, they're not really that close to leveling up. It's still like 3 touchdowns for one dude and like 8 SPP for the other dude. But at least they are looking decent when it comes to skills, because sure hands dodge is really not that bad, and block kickoff return is still a decent combination.
Yeah, I mean, the team is still looking okay. Sadly for Herringsworth, he is now out of the playoff race. And, well, he's also a bit out of good Tomb Guardians because he now has two Tomb Guardians with only a single game under the belt. Which
Mm.
hurts, definitely hurts. But the team is still very much looking decent.
Yeah, and I think that okay, statistically, can he is 102 actually, with losing again this week.
Yeah, he only
That's
has one
currently
game
going on.
left, and I think that means he's out of the playoff race because he would need to get first place.
Yeah, he's 633. I think he's out of it. I really think he's out of it. And well, it was nice to see him level up all these dudes, and like he really spiked hard. If you ask me, like those level ups are really really big. And yeah, Herringzord is always a good coach and always a good player to watch out for and to watch play. So another interesting matchup that we had are Angels of Lilith back to square one. That ended up going into back to square one's favor.
Well, I think quite a few people predicted that would happen, but let's take a look at Donkey Dragon's team.
So he got guard on top of the grab and strength on the big one.
I think the most interesting factor here is that the Leap Vampire is no more.
Oh really? Well, I didn't look at them still, but if the Leap Vampire is no more, that is fantastic. It makes the vampire team so much better, actually. And another thing that makes this team better is, well, he's starting to get really nice looking core players. Like the linemen are dead or are comatized if you ask Juan Moore for the road. But the other members of the team are looking quite well, if you ask me, and are really close to leveling up. if both war dancers
Oh,
really close to the
I
level.
just realized you talking about back to square one. I was a bit confused there what you were saying about vampires. Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, but the core players are looking pretty good. I'm just a bit disappointed the big one didn't get multi-block.
Yeah, or block. What do you think about block?
Yeah, well, but block is double. He
I
had
know.
he had the choice between guard and multi-block, and he went for guard, which is really
Yeah.
disappointing.
It is in a way. He he already has a thick skull, so I guess he was limited on the choices. I mean, with only strength axes and starting with 1, 2, 3, 4 strength skills in a tree that has really not a lot of options. Like, what are you gonna take? Piling on?
Yeah, clearly multi-block.
Yeah.
This
Um.
disappointing Pirate TJ.
Yeah, Pirate TJ, this is disappointing. You could have had a strength. What would be with multi block? What would he be?
I'm not sure how exactly it's calculated. I've never picked multi-block to be honest.
It splits your strength in half, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. He should be strength 3, so if he gets an assist on both his targets, there should be two dices.
Yeah, not bad. Mm, but he wanted to know 19 armor breaks to 11 armor breaks and 0 deaths. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that the first game between the two was a bit more promising.
Yeah, this game was basically back to square one. 4 passes, 4 catches.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number. And again, the Wood Elves outbashed the vampires. They got alone 5 KOs and 3 injuries through their blocks. Let's see. Yeah, and quite a few more there. 2 more casualties through dodges or bites from the vampires. And,
Yeah,
and I think also the ball possession paints a pretty clear picture here.
uh, I mean, the ball position really it was like the decisive factor. I mean, when the occupation of his own half is the same as the opposing player's ball ball possession, then you know something's really going on. And yeah, like the game itself, dice rolls, Ancients of Lilith failed Bloodlust 6 times, so that's just below the average. Uh, Back to square one managed to never fail a dodge. Like he has 12 out of 12. That's really impressive.
Yeah, that's what you want to see as an elf coach. He failed a
Do-
GFI, so he rolled 1-1.
yeah. He actually rolled 21 ones, but it's a weird way in which these dice are calculated. And when it comes to block dice, 15 pows and 12 skulls. Ha. Yeah. And most of the time when he is sculling or powing, is basically there's always a push there to accompany the pow and the skull.
Well, the big one took quite a few of those blocks, and he gets 3 dice, which helps.
Yep. And the big one alone, like, rolled a lot of skulls. If this is correct. Uh,
Well, let's not get hung over this. Shall we take a look at the vampires now?
Yeah, sure. The vampire still didn't take a level up, and that would be Archangel Michael. So what would you take? I'd probably look for dodge.
Yeah, having a blotch vampire is amazing.
Uh,
Helps you basically with everything you would want to do. He would be a good ball carrier. He's good at hypnogazing people while marking them. He's good at repositioning himself, at blocking. Basically, all the things you would want to do with a vampire.
okay, and Archangel Gabriel still niggled. Like a niggled player is still there in on the team, and he has piling on. So it's really, really ballsy playing with him, if you ask me.
Well, it's better than playing with only two vampires, I believe.
Yeah,
And he doesn't
absolutely.
have to pile on, so the
You
skill choice.
always have to pile on.
No, you don't.
Sure, sure.
Well, other than that, he has now quite a few developed roles. All good choices, with the tackle being a bit interesting, but tackle can be really, really useful to have. So I don't blame him.
I'd go for something on the lines of kick, maybe. What about you?
Yeah, kick, getting a utility skill, maybe also wrestle thrall, but that's also, I think, a bit too far away for this team because I don't know if they will actually be sticking around.
They probably won't, right? I believe Donkey Dragon said that, but we'll let Andy decide on his own, I guess. Until then, I really hope that this team can get some interesting plays in like we had at the beginning of the season. Now we move up. Weird Witchcraft, Revenge of Power Up.
Well, that
With
was a concede win because Yacinda is not here right now. So let's just take a look at Radster because he managed to get a win against Herringsford this week. And well, take a look at that.
yeah, the teams are. This team is really. I'm looking at Ratsta, and his team is really, really scary in a way that, but not in a like a, oh my god, he's going to kill me way. It's really scary in an oh my god, he's going to actually outpass me, and I'm elves way.
Yeah, I think he's actually playing just very hairy elves.
Yeah, and he took Mighty Blow as a skill instead of Guard on the Chaos Warrior, which is actually an interesting choice, seeing as that he did breed a Chaos Warrior with an elf, it seems, on the other side of the team, with the block and the agility 4.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about taking. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure about the Mighty Blow as a skill choice there. I think you could have gotten more out of guard, maybe even stand firm just to be even more annoying.
Yeah, the stand firm or the guard skills are basically better picks if you ask me. And also agility on the Chaos Warrior kind of fits the theme of the team, but really when you look at it on a normal team, if this was like a normal Chaos team, that would just be an assigned to take a normal skill. And also that goes for most doubles.
Well, I think I know Radsta well enough that Chaos Warrior will be getting leap, he will be getting very long legs, and he will be a meme.
He probably will, and I hope he will. Uh, as a person who has a goat with leap and agility 4 and wrestle, it really is a meme to play with that. Nobody expects it, especially out of Chaos Warrior.
Meanwhile, Swaho loves Claw, Mighty Blow piling on, is still sitting at 0 SPP.
Yeah, I bet he's intentionally not trying to score with me, but okay.
Yeah, he's probably the guy who always sits on the bench.
Yeah, probably. He has 4 matches played, 2 blocks succeeded, and 15 blocks sustained.
Yeah, I see he's trying to get him killed that way.
So, Weird Witchcraft, it was a concede, so we won't really go into that one a lot. But uh, but the Herringzor game can wait till next week, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
I think if we talk to Herringsort about it, we can wait until forever because it was really a dicing. But as I said, we will go over that next week. So, last match of the week.
Yeah, last match is as the Rockstars beating again, I believe, beating Peppleford Parakeets.
Yeah, and as I think we start out with the Dazzle Vextors and look at their goblin.
Uh, oh my god. Oh, he has to keep it just for the meme. He's he's a snotling, right?
Yeah, very expensive Snotling.
A really buff snotling with strength too, and no titchy. But he's a snotling now. Congratulations, you got a snotling with catch, and he's worth 100k. What's that, like 5 times the snotling? Damn.
Sounds like a good player. Well,
Yep.
what do you think about the plus movement on the Blitzer?
I think that it's quite a decent choice. Like, some people argue that maybe waiting for some skill ups is better because movement on its own really isn't going to help you much. But I believe that it can help you because you can make a safety with tackle, probably like mighty blow after that, and maybe frenzy uh, before Mighty Blow or something. You never know. Like, you can have a pretty decent character here.
Yeah, but I think the big problem here, this orc team is really lacking guard.
Yeah. Uh, their Black Orcs aren't leveling up really, and their Blitzers are constantly dying and getting stat ups. And he keeps taking the stat ups and he keeps letting the Blitzers die. So he's really lacking in guard due to that, to be honest.
I am really curious to see if Organized Crisis will take this team into the next season.
Yeah.
And to me, taking the plus movement actually says he is planning to do that because if you're just looking to finish out the season, the last 2 games, you probably don't take the movement there and just go with something useful like guard.
Yeah. If you're just looking to like end the season in a the best that I can do kind of way, then you really don't take the movement. I agree.
Well,
Mm.
let's have a closer look at the actual game. Now, ball possession is pretty one-sided. Blocks are heavily in the favor of the Dwarfs.
Yep. Um, the ball possession, everything's actually in favor of the Choffs.
Yeah, and despite that, the Dazzle Rockstars are the one who take the win.
The Waxers are the ones who take the win. And well, it's really cool to see that It's really cool to see that the Dazzle Waxers, even when they're getting beat up, they're managing to kind of pull one out of the hat.
Yeah, and they even rolled a lot of ones along the way. If we take a look at the dice log, yeah, there are quite a few ones there. While the dwarfs just didn't roll many dice, but still 16 ones and 18 twos are a lot.
Yeah, that is true. And when you look at it statistically, like that could be looked at as maybe a dicing, but really, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that this came into Dazzlebax as an organized crisis, actually being a really good coach. And yeah, that's basically it.
Let's leave it at that. So, shall we take a closer look at the last team?
Yeah, sure. Then they look really good,
Yeah, they.
even despite the fact that they're always losing.
Well, there is a plus movement on Bogart. What do we think about that?
Uh, well, plus movement on the Bull Centaur is fantastic, if you ask me, because he's faster and he is there to be fast, and that's basically like that's his job, and he's doing his job well.
Yes, I agree. I like the plus movement. Now, if it would be a 5 plus 5 for a level up, what would you pick then?
Dodge.
Do you want to expand on that?
Well, do I have to? Like, dodge is basically the thing that really sets the bull centaurs apart from normal bull centaurs. If they get dodge, if they get break tackle, with block, they're everywhere on the field at the same time. And they're a strength 4 player with movement 6, and that can make 3 GFIs and have a reroll for at least one of those.
Well,
So
thanks
when you
for
look at
expanding
it,
anyway.
well, like I thought you wanted me to, so I did.
Yeah, the point was thanks for expanding despite pointing out that it is pretty obvious why.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Maybe somebody from the rookie league's watching, and at least now, like, you give us somewhat of a inside look to that.
Now, they also managed to pick up quite a bit of guard by now. I really like that a lot. The two claw players are still slacking a bit since they got claw. You would have expected them to, well, with claw, pick up a few more injuries, level a bit faster. But with the luck
Yeah.
Anderson had so far, I watched the game against Catchy where he just didn't get any removals at all. It's not been a great season for Anderson, despite getting this a really good looking development.
Yep. Uh, I think that the teams, when it comes to like actually playing out their games and stuff like that, every team has been on point, has been on time. Uh, well, we're not going to look at Yacinda, but like, yeah, this they're really good at keeping time, if you ask me, and that's something that we should comment on and like, let's say, give them a thumbs up for it. Good job, guys.
Well, some of them are a bit too fast with their games because sometimes we don't have time to go over the recap before they even played their games because they are just that eager to get their games in.
Yeah, well, eager players over an eager game. What can you expect? Well, let's look at the leaderboard and see what's gonna happen next. Uh, What else
So,
at the top?
Wood Elves and the Necromantic both picking up 2 wins from the week 11 standpoint. And that does mean that they are both the Wood Elves in the top, closely followed by the Necromantic. But as
Oh,
we see already, Radstar has been getting a win this week, so he's up there.
and actually back to square one. Pyro TJ facing off versus Gobbleboners this week. So should we like legit just give him 3-0 into week 3?
I never would count out the Gobble bonus.
Mm, that's true, and we shouldn't really count them out. Yeah, but
Also, there are quite both Kichirus and McNorton who will be playing are close on Pyro TJ's heels, so if he slips up, they will be there to punish it.
so basically the winner of the Kedgeru's McNaughton game faces Pyro TJ for the spot, right? Well, it's actually collective score, but they face the,
Yeah, also
let's
there's still
say,
Radsta.
top. Oh yeah, there's still Rasta there, and but Rasta will face the guy that's week 4, right?
Yeah, he will face the loser between McNorton and Ketchirus, basically.
Yeah, and that's key.
It will be very interesting to see how this plays out in Division 6C. And well, it's a bit tough with the combining the regular season standings with the leaderboard now, but
Yeah, it's really going to be hard, like to understand. But I kind of like this format that they went for with this division. If you ask me, it
yeah,
isn't really
it's an
bad.
interesting format. It's just hard to keep track as a reporter.
Yeah, that's really hard. But like when you look at it from some different angle, it's really okay. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
you
fun.
can deal with it definitely. So I think that's it for Division 6C.
Want to do predictions?
Well, we don't have any game. Oh, we have games yet. I've just been confused because of the. Let's do predictions. So I think Radsta will win against Herring Sword.
Okay, yeah. That seems like a reasonable call. Probably not going to be like some kind of slope or just something like that. I look at it like maybe a 1-0. Professor Prestigious versus Highland Rangers.
A beautiful pronunciation there, and yeah, this is a tough one.
This one decides a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And yeah, I think that the pets will lose.
I disagree. I think they will actually win. I think Keiji will use his players in a way that will allow him to take advantage of the lack of development on the Highland Avengers, despite the inducements for the Highland Avengers.
Yeah, that's the Wax does. Okay, Gobbleboners versus back to square one.
I think the prediction is an easy one to give the win to back to square one. But
Yeah,
as we said earlier, never count out crazy goblins.
that's Waxes versus Angels of Lilith. Uh,
Oh, that's a tough one, but
I think those Waxers could take it now that they don't have a goblin to wear them down in a way.
well, but that's been one of the tools they have been making plays with. So, I'm not, I think I actually think there's a draw here between the two.
Yeah, and Weird Witchcraft versus Pamper for Parakeets is going to go to Pamper for Parakeets. Uh, like officially. Okay, looking into 6D now.
6D, where we had quite a few big results there for week 11. Let's start with the 187s losing to the Kingslayers.
And I already see something really impactful for this division happening, and the Kingslayers, but it will have to wait. The Kingslayers win their game versus the 187.
So let's start out with the Kingslayers. There they are,
Well,
Underworld team. Uh, the core of the team is left. All the goblins are gone. I
yeah, this is a Skaven team with a troll,
Yeah,
basically.
and Horn's Skaven Blitzer.
Ooh, damn. I like that actually in this division where everything's really stronger than he is, and he's really got nothing to support him. Like loner goblins, okay, but it's better to be a self-made man, and Robespierre was a self-made man in history as well. Well, until they cut his head off, but okay.
Well, I think it's still an interesting one. I would have liked to see Tackle actually, just
Mm,
to get down uh, those those important opponent pieces who are low armor value but have dodge.
that he is going to be facing in the next 2 weeks when he faces Team Fantastic and the Heresy Lifeguard.
Well, that's it. I mean, short term, Horns might be better. Hello, Glow Dude. But long term, I still believe he can get more tackle out of the Blitzer. But you do have a point. I didn't have their coming matchups in mind.
So, and I'm only saying, well, he probably will look to either like re-roll this team or just stick with the team due to the fact that the blitzer is really in this, like the two blitzers are looking really good, and he also has a really good Skaven thrower, if you ask me.
Yeah, I believe Spartacus is around in the chat, so if he wants to let us know what he's planning to do with this team, I certainly can see him take this team into another season.
Yeah, so Spartacus, just tell us what you're thinking about with this team and with the skill ups. And we'll go on to look at your match versus the 187s. So the Ghoul got the level up, and meanwhile, the Skaven Thrower got the level up as well. So that's really nice to see.
Yeah, those are two well placed MVPs. You would always think, or you would maybe even think they chose the targets there.
Yep. And, well, what they chose is to hit each other a decent amount of times 33 to 40, and, well, one kill inflicted. Always nice to see a kill inflicted, right?
Yeah, it's quite a good thing to look at. And it seems like the 187s either failed quite a few dodges or they got fouled quite a lot. I would like to see a statistic here to see how many fouls were made. Would be cool to see Cyanide.
Yeah, that would be interesting, Cyanide. But we can't expect anything from them. The Kingslayers have one death to sustain. I guess that it's supposed to be the line like loners or the troll, and then he regenerated, and
Well,
well, it's not the troll because he didn't have any region rules.
do yeah, if Underworld don't have region, do they?
Yep, and yeah, that's basically it for the game, if you ask me.
Yeah, so let's take a look. What did the ghoul get?
What did he get? Tell me he got.
Sidestep it is.
Okay, sidestep. Oh, yeah. That's a good skill, if you ask me. And
I would have liked. Oh wait, dump off isn't actually an agility team. It just looks like one. Would have been
yeah,
cool.
that's that's sad. But really, this ghoul, if you ignore the nerves of steel, this ghoul's shaping up to be really good. But the rest of the team isn't.
Yeah, I think the ghoul is the only really good piece standing out here. But
Yep.
well, good in quotes because nervously might not be the best choice. And well, I'm not sure if Mondingo will continue this team. I don't really see anything that would make you say, "Boy, I will want to keep on playing this team." But it's also by no means a broken team.
Yeah,
It's just behind a bit, behind the other teams.
it looks like it's really behind, I think, almost everybody. If you ask me, like a lot of these teams are really well developed, and this team is just like slacking off and not getting any levels really.
Yeah, I mean the overall team value of 1,370 is not that bad, but it's really not on the pieces where you who would.
Then you see that all the team value is actually on one dude, basically. If you ask me, it's all on one dude, like 3 skill ups, and one of those is a double, and he looks mediocre.
Yeah, and so to be honest, has been the season for Mundingo. His record is 3 wins, 3 draws, and 5 losses.
Yep,
And
and
well, that's basically middle of the
that's basically
table, more lower middle end of the table.
yeah. And then we have victims of the sun of the Bash Buddies, and we have Bash Buddies who are 7-1-3.
Now let's look at the team that has basically the same amount of development, and well, this team is looking much better, wouldn't you agree?
The Bash Buddies, yeah.
Yeah, if you compare the two Necro teams.
Yep. Even though like Neat Dog is just really looking basic, Stoop Dog is 1 touchdown away from, I guess, getting block or probably getting maybe piling on. And yeah, the Wolves on this team are much better than the Wolves on the other team, and so are the Ghouls. Like that agility, that one agility point is in my eyes better than the Nerves of Steel factor that the opposing Ghoul has.
Yeah, I definitely rather have Combo Carl than what was the other ghoul's name? Flash Dancer. So we see a clear difference here between the two Necro teams. And the difference has also been helping Berserk win games because he is now at a 7 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses record, which is really respectable.
Yeah, that's like a really good score if you ask me. Like 7-1-3, nothing to really be shy about.
Welcome, D-Flat Isevok, or what? I'm sorry if I couldn't pronounce your name right, but
Oh,
I think the
uh,
chat should be fine. Are you playing in this division, or are you just joining randomly?
he is actually Legends team that a League of Legends community that I'm in. I posted like that we are streaming there, so he just
Yeah,
came in.
I'm sure the League of Legends fellas will be happy to see a recap for Blood
Statistics.
Bowl.
Yeah, so statistics and numbers and crunching numbers and all of that, right?
I'm sure they will be enjoying it. So let's have a look at the actual game.
Yeah, the actual game when you look at it,
It
like
looks really one-sided, basically as expected. Ball possession is in the favor
uh,
of the Bash Buddies. Blocks are in the favor of the Bad Buddies. The Victims of the Sun actually managed to get quite a few removals,
yeah.
but
Also a removal from an expulsion that happened during the game. So you have uh, one guy being sent off for kicking a dead team while it's on the ground.
yeah, I mean, why not? If they're already on the ground, you just as well kick them.
Yeah, why not? That's usually what people do, and that's Blood Bowl for you. You kick people on the ground. So what's happening here? The ball possession is completely one-sided, if you ask me. The blocks succeeded are completely one-sided as well, if you ask me. But the casualties are pretty evened up, even though like the victims of the sun have gotten the better half of the casualty rolls.
And Spartacus just informed that the Kingslayers will indeed be back next season.
That's always great to hear, Spartacus. And yeah, let's hope that next season you get to use that claw mighty blow on something.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
they have a decent chance this season already.
yep. Versus Jimmy Fantastic's Chaos. They can murder Chaos Warrior too. So,
Let's
Dauntless fails. Uh, we have one failed Dauntless. Okay. And yeah, two failed passes, uh, one failed catch, so I guess handoff, and he failed a loner, so he's been really desperate for things to do, if you ask me. 2 out of 5 dodges successful.
one
Yeah.
moment.
Okay. I'll just like rant on. Well, the Bash Buddies had a subpar in a way pickup rate, but 5 to 2. Like tragedy, complete tragedy for the ball pickups. Nah, just kidding. That's really fantastic from them. Um, really good armor rolls. Dodge, really good. Like he had agility for dodge rates. Injuries, quite all right. I'd guess. He woke up after KO 100% of the time, and that's really, really good. Lightning Bolt unfortunately succeeded, and yeah, that's the only thing that happened really in the game was the Lightning Bolt. And then there's the casualty roll of 0%.
So now let's take a look at those Bretonians on the ground. They reached 1000 TV.
Oh, finally. Uh,
And they have 4 blitzers. Look at that.
they're finally looking amazing, right?
I mean,
Nah.
that's almost as good as our starting Brett team.
Yeah, almost. I think that the last time he was on 1000 TV was when he was starting off with the team, if I'm correct. Well, not counting in loners, of course, but yeah.
I mean, the good thing here is that with 1 or 2 more games, the team could actually be looking not that bad if the 2 blitzers level, if he levels another blocker. So
Yep.
Cyber Knight might even stick with this team, but I still somewhat doubt it. But we will see.
We'll see indeed, and Patrick is really close to getting. Well, if you ask me, I'd go guard with this guy, seeing as the blitzers just really, really need help and really need the support.
Definitely, guard is always a great choice in my opinion. Maybe not on every player, but on most of them.
Yep. Well, things will happen, I guess, to this team, and everything happened that could have happened, and I think that they're finally starting to get a hang
Yeah, I mean they
of Blood
finally
Bowl.
they managed to keep a few of those blitzers alive. That's something.
Yep. And now let's take a look at what happens next. So, Skeletons versus Imperishable 4,
And
2-0.
I think the Imperishable Four have to call themselves Perishable Four now because they sustained 2 deaths in that game.
Oh,
Let's have a
damn.
look at their team.
The Imperishable 4, yeah. 2 deaths.
I assume there is a fresh Tomb Guardian here. Yes, so a Tomb Guardian died. And
The Citra, the Reawakened.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cetra died. The original Cetra died, and probably one of the skeletons.
Yep. Yep. The skeleton died because blank.
Also, ooh, the
Yeah,
Blitzer
I
is
think
armor
this is actually.
busted.
I think this is actually the highest impact that happened. The Blitzroll losing an armor value point. Ha.
Losing a Tomb Guardian is always hurtful. But the Blitzer losing an armor value point is definitely not great either. It looks like
Um,
it really has been a rough game for Fernlow.
yeah, it's been a really rough game for Thurlow, and well, considering how this team, like 5-3-3, is not bad.
Yeah, the record is not bad. And, well, with the Skelepans taking the win here, they are both now at the same record. So, both teams have been doing really well for themselves this season. But it looks like the Skelepans just decided, the Imperishable Four have a bit too much development. Let's cut it a bit. And if we
Yeah,
look at the game report, they even managed to kill off the MVP, and it was Hank, the skeleton, who died.
damn. Uh,
Just look at the ball possession. There in the statistics.
yeah, I'm looking at the ball position, and it's like, holy moly. This is such a one-sided game, if you ask me.
I'm not
Uh,
sure if I've ever seen a Camry team with 81% ball possession.
yeah. Holy and that after both of them actually with somebody that we're going to go over next, somebody that accomplished something that nobody ever did. Uh, they didn't pick up the ball for the last 2 games, right?
Yeah, I think both of them had trouble picking it up, but it seems like the Skelepans just didn't want to give it away after picking it up.
That's always nice because well, the team is finally starting to uh like get a hang of the ball
I
and
mean,
not be Kemry.
the Skelepans still had trouble picking it up, only a 50% success rate, but as it seems like they are good at catching the ball.
Mm,
100% success rate there, and they made 10 going for it, which is also impressive. I mean, if we ask Herring Sword, he will definitely say that that is impossible.
yeah.
Oh,
But
both teams actually managed to do all of the going for it. Herring Sword will be so jealous.
the Imperishable 4 actually 0-3 catches.
Yeah, they are not good at catching. And the
And when
pickouts
it
have been
comes,
50% as well.
which is kind of normal,
Yeah, it's expected with Agility 2 teams. Oh no, the Imperishable. Were the Skelepans or the Imperishable 4 with the Agility 3 Blitzer?
I believe that Skeletons
Yeah,
Incorporated
that's
has
Skelepans
usually.
Incorporated. Yeah, that's
Yep.
basically cheating as Camry, just getting an Agility 3 guy.
Yep. And well, the kickoff return guy is getting some SPP, while the Screamer the throw raw that doesn't have any SPP is pretty much starving.
Yeah, you would want to feed him a few, but in a game like this, you don't get the chance to. So let's take a look at the opposing team. Because Skelepons, well, they do have two dirty players, so they have clearly a match plan in mind.
Yep. And well, they really don't miss their throw raw. They did have a throw raw. I guess he died or something, and they really don't miss him, seeing as that they have a better player in the blitz raw with the agility 3 and sure hands substituting for the throw raw. Also, two, as you said, two dirty players, a kick, really looking decent, if you ask me. The team's probably going into the next season looking really good. 5-3-3, so they are identical. They're completely the same.
Well, the players are a bit different, but the record is the same, at least for this week.
Yeah, and I'd say that finishes off our Camry mirror. Ain't it cold in the north versus the Ciliath plate still hasn't happened. I don't know if there's something like political in that game that's going behind the scenes, but
I
let's hope not.
assume just one of them called for an extension since the week still hasn't rolled and it's
Yeah.
first day already, so they will probably
Now,
play it tonight.
now we have the. I wouldn't say the finalization of the table because I still didn't calculate the points. But Team Fantastic winning their game against Clotmore Rams. And let's look at what Jimmy Fantastic has. He has two Fagors that are missed next game.
Well, I think the most
Oh,
important thing
niggling.
is that after only 11 games, he already has a Mighty Blow Claw piling on block Chaos Warrior. That's quite impressive.
Oh yeah, that guy is just gonna Flap Fart is just going to go into next season and just cause genocide everywhere he steps. And
And
Guy de Couronne is going to follow up on that, I believe.
yeah, and he also still has Brainless Chaos there to involve in a even better blitzer. It's a dangerous team, and so did Hut find out because Team Fantastic didn't joke around and just killed a diving tackle beastman who stole the MVP.
Yeah. Uh, that's always like funny to see, but diving tackle. I feel the pain. I just lost my diving tackle last game. Got a minus strength. But yeah, flap fart statistics. 5 MVP.
Uh, wow,
Five
5
MVPs.
MVP. Uh,
2 touchdowns. And 10 casualties.
well, 5 SPPs. He looks like he really has been the MVP of the team. And Spartacus is quite jealous of the 200k in Jimmy's bank. He could buy quite a few loners from that. Goblins.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the dice rolls, statistically, like ball possession, Jimmy Fantastic, injuries, and KOs and kills are pretty even, but Jimmy has a bit more blocks and that yards running.
Yeah, it looks like Team Fantastic has been the team who has been better at playing around the ball more than at actually blocking, which is a bit
Yep,
surprising if you look at the team's build.
yep.
Let's have a look at the dice lock. Numbers for Jimmy seem pretty even. Well, so does it actually for Claudio Rams. Oh, Claudio Rams failed quite a few dodges. 9 successes, 9 failures. And it looks like they actually dodged a lot, which is interesting for a Chaos team.
Well, not if you ask Radsta, but yeah, uh, dodge rate 50%, 9-9. That's really hard to see. Like, and then you have Jimmy, who's played, well, kind of really safe, if you ask me.
Yeah, he took the
Although 4 catches, putting those into context is going to be very hard because I don't see why he did 4 handoffs. But
maybe
okay,
just ball scattering into his hands or from the kickoff.
yep, that's a possibility. In that case, Jimmy would be kind of lucky, if you ask me.
I mean,
Uh,
it's always a bit luck involved. If you win, well, not always if you win, but if you win a competitive match between two very skilled coaches, I think there's always a little bit of luck involved.
yep. Uh, well, they're really skilled, both of them. Of like, they have some of the best statistics in the entire league. I mean their division,
Yeah, the
and
league might be a
the
bit.
league with the two guys at the top that are just killing stuff. Yeah, it's kind of hard to compete with the rookie Kill Chaos that actually has, I believe, more kill skills than any other team in Division 6.
Give me a second. I just have to reply to Drace. Meanwhile, can you go over the Huts team?
Yeah, sure. Glad I already faced him in my 4th game of the season. Yeah, Falkenberg. I believe that you are glad for that. And congratulations, Falkenberg, at the same time. So, Hood, um, well, he still has the agility 5 goat that has wrestle, and he has an agility 4 block goat still, and he's gotten his second mighty blow if you're not looking at the cow. And yeah, this team is actually shaping up to be uh, really meme like in the sense that he first of all he doesn't have chaos warriors. Second of all, he's playing more agility than he's playing chaos. Um, well, the Minotaur is 3 SPP away from touchdowning. Mm, if when we look at it, when we look at the numbers and when we crunch the statistics and the points, we will look at those, and we you might actually want to play ballsy these last few weeks and get some SPP on players that you aren't able to get SPPs on. Just in the case of uh, the undead actually taking the season. Well, 2 SPPs on 1 beastman, so let's hope for a casualty, a lucky Kaz, and 2 SPPs on the other guy. Let's hope for a Kaz, seeing as that he has Mighty Blow. 3 SPP for a Beastman and the Minotaur. I mean, it isn't really like it would be funny if you somehow frenzied somebody into the crowd and the Minotaur was a touchdown zone and you just handed off to him to touchdown. Really, really just gets him a level, and let's hope that he gets a block. And if not, I hope that you go for piling on just for the meme.
Yeah,
And
memes
yeah,
are always funny, and I'm back. So I think you went over everything for Hut.
well, basically, unless you want to add something
Ah,
to the.
I listened to you a little bit. I think you covered everything well. So let's go to the crematorium crew against Hollywood martial law. And Buffer T. Justed had to sustain the first touchdown against him.
In the history of ever, the crematorium crew has
Well,
sustained a touchdown.
probably not in the history. For the crematorium crew, yes. For Buffer T. Justice himself, probably not.
Yeah, for the history of ever. My God, Falconmerk. Let's go over him first.
Yeah, Falkenmark
Falconmerk.
is the hero the division needed.
Yeah, you're the hero that we all needed and got like 11 weeks late.
I mean, it turns out when you have an Agility 5 lineman available, that could maybe
Yep,
help you with scoring.
I hope it does, because if that doesn't help you, nothing will. But the catcher has guard. The blitzer is 1 SPP away from leveling. The other guy is 4 SPP away from leveling. The tame bear is 4 SPP from leveling. This is the only, and also the catcher is 4 SPP from leveling. This is the only Kislev team in the division, and statistically wise, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, well, you're not really expecting much from Kislev. Let's be real. But you delivered what everybody wanted in the whole division. So congratulations. You made a name for yourself on top of being the only Kislev. You were the only person to have yet ever to have been and have yet to be undefeated in the fact of you're the first one to score against Buffer T Justice. Good job.
Yeah. Well, I will forever honor your team, Falkenmark, and well done. I mean,
Good job.
you didn't manage to get the win, but we don't want to get overly excited. We are happy with the touchdown.
It was a moral victory because now
And
we
he
have
and he
proven.
only managed to suffer 2 deaths because I mean
Yeah,
that's just usual for Falkenberg. He's just paying his tax, his weekly tax of losing a few players.
but
I
he
hope at
proved
least one of those or two of those were loners.
He proved that Buffer T Justice is mortal and can be scored upon. And in the case of that really could help HUD, because HUD will have to face Crematorium Crew soon, maybe even next week. I don't remember. And well, now HUD knows. Now HUD can analyze how to score. Yeah, you still paid lineman tax, and now HUD could watch the replay and know how to score versus a crematorium crew, because no one has been able to figure it out. 27 blocks to 19 blocks, and he really munched the opponent. Buffer T Justice, as usual, 56% ball possession to 25. The yards running are simply insane, if you ask me. 134.
Yeah, it's to be expected from the Crematorium crew at this point.
Yep. But the passes and catches are really good to see from Bufford, from Falconmerk. Good job, Falk.
Yes, SBP is actually not too bad for Hollywood martial law either. And well, the Crematorium crew also managed to pick up quite a lot of SPP. Dice lock, let's have a quick look there. The Crematorium crew playing very safe, only rolling very few dice. And actually, well, failing a few of them.
A bit, a bit. Like catches, okay. Uh, but nothing really terrible, to be honest. He's playing it safe and he's playing it low, and the dice count, and that's always nice to play like that.
Uh,
Hollywood martial law, on the other hand, what is this, like 100 dice?
yeah, it's
Oh,
well, it's Kislev. They roll a lot of dice, What I'm a bit confused about is the chainsaw. Do Kislev have a chainsaw player available as an inducement? Yes.
I believe that everybody has well, I don't know if everybody has, but the goblin chainsaw dudes.
It can be very possible. It seems like he didn't get too much use out of it. Only a single chainsaw roll.
Yeah, but that single chainsaw roll, I guess, succeeded.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, he managed to pull off quite a few leaps. Have overall pretty average rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Helmut. Yeah, I just wasn't sure about if Kislev have access to the chainsaw. I know they have access to Slipley, for example, but
Oh yeah, you have access to every lizard player. That's right, your lizards actually. But yeah. Uh, back like it's really nice to see that somebody actually scored against the guy, but he's 11-0, and let's look at what he's looking like right now.
yeah, and
He has,
he's also racking up the team value at this point. Look at that
yeah,
white. Look at those
yeah,
ghouls.
yep. I'd maybe go for like sidestep on the ghouls, but then he wouldn't have tackle, seeing as that he got jump up now. And dirty player, always nice to have. Guard on zombies. You're really starving for guard as the undead, as you're playing for the early game, like the low team values. And now that you're at a mid team value point, you really are a scary team when it comes to the mummies and the whites and the ghouls. And the zombies are really just really good fodder. Like they're good fodder, and the guard helps a lot in sustaining and staying upright. So, um, 11-0. I believe that nobody else has that score in GMan, but you probably know that better than I do, right?
No, I believe nobody has 11 wins. One close is Gerber, but he has a draw. I, for example, have a draw. I have two draws. So, in G-Man, I'm pretty sure there's none. There might be in Rel, or in Big O.
Yeah, there has to be somebody somewhere with this, but with 11-0. But yeah, he probably is the only guy in G-Man with that. And congratulations for now. And I actually hope that you will go in with a perfect season of 13-0, just to be like the only person that has done it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm definitely rooting for you at this point, and I will also definitely be rooting for you in the playoffs. Well, until you meet me, but
well, who is the possibility for this dude? Because basically he's already in the playoffs, right?
yes.
And yeah, Berserk can't get to him. Clontmore Rams can't get to him. It's done. He
Yeah,
has
he has qualified. He's definitely through.
yeah, he's definitely through. The Clontmore Rams had to win the game, right? To even be close to that. But okay, so he's facing somebody from G-Man
Yeah,
2?
the
Or
current
no,
it's
Rel 2.
Gengar. Gengar is currently matched against him.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a hard matchup for Buffer T Justice, just from the name. I don't even know how the team looks,
It's a
but
Cambry
just
team with two Strength 6 Tomb Guardians, with two Strength 4 Blitzeras, and three Dirty players. And a lot
okay,
of
yeah.
Mighty Blow piling on, Break Tackle, the usual, you know.
Oh
A
yeah, the
2000
standard.
team value Camry team.
Oh yeah, the standard Camry build that everybody goes for with the 4 strength ups, you know. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
if you ask FD, that's easy.
yeah. But if you ask Hefty, that also doesn't help you at all. So you never know. You might actually win. Uh, so the last game Flylord Servants versus
The Heresy Lifeguard. Ant-Man picks up the win. Let's look at this team.
statistically he's 533. Wow, this rate win rate is actually kind of popular these days apparently. He has gotten levels. Oh my god. And
Yeah.
his team's looking really good.
Yeah, it turns out it's actually pretty close behind Buffer T Justice. A lot of people up there. So, let's have a look at this team. A Nurgle Warrior with Mighty Blow. A Pestigore with Block, Mighty Blow, and Claw. It's coming along well for Ant-Man.
And one SPP away with Nurgle Warrior for a level up, so lucky Kaz, lucky pass. Maybe lucky SPP, MVP on the other Nurgle Warrior. This guy can stay at 0 SPP for as long as he wants because he's a special little boy with the 0 matches played.
Yeah, sometimes you lose Nurgle Warriors. That can happen. That's
Yeah.
also a reason why I probably would pick up Guard on the next Nurgle Warrior level. Just to be a bit better suited for the actual bash part. So also the taking hits, not only dealing out the hits.
Yep.
But he has a dirty player. He has a killer goat. He has a tackle goat. And the only thing he's missing is a ball carrier goat. But I'm sure Tola will be the one who will be on ball carrying duty.
Yeah. And let's look at the match. I'm stunned over a rebel post that I just saw involving two cans. 43% ball possession to 18% ball possession. Holy moly, 58 blocks. Is this the highest amount of blocks that we saw today?
Let me take a look. Statistics. 58 blocks? I'm pretty sure it's up there. I think there was one with 55, but I think that's
Yeah.
the highest one for this week in 60.
I think that even in 16, this game has almost had 100 blocks.
Well, it doesn't have 100, it's just one short.
Too bad, too bad. But yeah, in those almost 100, 4 KOs, 2 injuries on one side, and 4 KOs, 1 injury on the other side.
Yeah, the bash game is actually pretty equal despite well, about 20 more blocks for the Flylord servants. He has been a bit unlucky with the armor breaks.
Yep. Yeah, he's been a little bit unlucky with those, but when it comes to the dice rolls, 11 out of 11 to 0, really stupid. So then you calculate that in.
Oh, that's a well-performing beast.
Oh yeah, that's really well performing if you ask me. Wake up after KO. Well, he had one.
And fall appearance did a thing. Quite a few of those. Quite a few
6.
ones there. That's pretty
kind
good.
of unlucky. Kind of unlucky, but also what did a thing is apparently the zone. Catch 1 out of 6, 16%. Damn. No passes.
We also have to say Bonehead, the I think it's the human team Heresy Lifeguard, so the Ogre has been performing.
Yeah, the Ogre has been. Both big guys have been performing, to be honest.
That's something you don't get to say very often.
Yeah. Huh. Really, really cool to be seeing the. What are they called? The humans actually Nurgle seeing as that the Nurgle team is really in a position where they're bashy as all hell, and the humans, well, if we take a look at them,
Well, they are a fresh human team who now have a MNG thrower. So nothing much changed there. I'm a bit surprised they did held up so well against Nurgle.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they really did well, and in the next season, I guess, let's hope that he does like this game, and he manages to stand up to stronger teams.
So I think there's not too much to say of this human team. They just got a few SPP, not a single level up. So shall we take a look at the actual leaderboard?
Okay. To the leaderboard. Well, it's 11 and 0.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
Buford T Justice, but take a look behind him.
Bash Buddies. Yeah, Bash Buddies, Berserk really doing well. HUD, technically 7 and 2 compared to 7 and 4 of Jimmy Fantastic. Then we have the three dudes that are 5-3-3. Two Khemri and a Nurgle team. The Bretonians are actually in 8th place. Technically in 6th, but okay. And then we have at the bottom the new teams, of course. Let's not even count those in. Silius Blades and Hollywood Martial Law and King Slayers and Moondingo. All at, like, let's say the bottom part of this list. So, who do you predict to be second?
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I'm actually going to stick with my original prediction of the Berserk being up there. If you remember, at the very first episode we did, I mentioned Berserk will be one of the guys up there.
Yeah. We never actually went with anything bad with Berserk. We all knew that he's going to do something cool. And
I was the first one who believed in him. I know you didn't pick him.
okay, Jehovah's Witness.
So who do you predict for the second place?
Well, I mean, I'd have to go with Berserk, Jimmy, or HUD, basically.
So you're
Uh,
picking the three guys in the best position to do so.
well, I'm looking at those three guys, basically, and I think that Jimmy has the easier matchups because Jimmy's facing Kingslayers and then he's facing Aciliath Blades, and we have who is it? Bash Buddy's actually facing off versus Clotmore Rams. Wow. Okay, Bash Buddies versus Clotmore Rams, and then Bash Buddies are facing Skelepons Incorporated, while Clotmore Rams are facing Crematorium Crew.
Both with tough chat schedules there.
Yeah, and
But
then Jimmy has like a less tough schedule, but I think that he'll have a problem or two as well.
yeah, the Kingslayers are probably the more troublesome opponent. The Sleeve Blades probably won't be a big thorn in the eyes of Team Fantastic, but they have shown to be able to pull off matches if their dice go well, so definitely not to be underestimated.
Yep. 100% agree with you there. And let's hope that time will tell us the story correctly. And
So let's do actual predictions for next week.
okay, let's blitz on these Team Fantastic Kingslayers.
Ooh, Team Fantastic.
Same here. Crematorium maintained cold in the north.
Clearly ain't cold in the north. If you ask
Yep.
anyone, he will clearly tell you that.
Statistically, it's ain't it cold in the north.
Obviously.
Flylord Servants versus Skelepons Incorporated. Somebody's losing the 5-3-3.
Well, it looks like the Skelepans found a way to hold on to the ball, so that has been the one thing stopping them. I'm gonna give it to them.
I'm going to go with the Nurgle team. So, or the
Human
Heresy
matchup.
Life. Yeah, human-ish matchup. The Heresy
Both at
Lifeguard,
1000 TV.
Victims of the Sun, both fresh teams. As fresh as it gets, 1000 Team B. Even after 11 games with Victims of the Sun. And I'm going with Victims of the Sun.
I've seen Heresy Lifeguard take on Ant-Man. I believe in them. It will be a draw.
Hollywood martial law versus 7.
Uh, both of them had a pretty rough season. I'm pretty sure something will die on both sides. Mostly
Let's
on the
hope it
Hollywood
does.
martial law side. I'm hoping it won't, but if history tells anything, at least one lineman will die. But I'm probably going to give it. I'm actually giving it to Falkenberg here.
Yeah, same here. I am really hoping the Falcon wins this one. Clotmer Rams versus Bash Putties.
Well, since the Clotimer Rams have been struggling in the last 2 weeks and the Bash Buddies have been performing, I'm gonna give it to the Bash Buddies.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Silliath plays a perishable foe.
This will be the comeback for the Imperishable Four if they manage to pick up the ball.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be Imperishable 4 as well.
Well, I think that's it then. Uh, I hope you
I
guys
believe.
en- I hope you guys enjoyed it. Swaho, thanks as always.
No problem.
And well, playoff race in 6D it's over. In 6C it's very close. We will see you all next week.
See ya, guys.
See ya.